Thank you for filling out the trial of the QuickLaunch at Preferred Strategies. This video is going to walk through of how to navigate the sales example here. This is our Power BI sample, a flavor of that for our QuickLaunch around JD Edwards. So it blends the sales detail, open orders, and history tables in JD Edwards together with relationships to things like the customer sold to, shipped to, parent, item, or item branch table, the dates, work orders, subledgers, and so on. So this is an example. We're going to go ahead and we're at this screen. You can go ahead and hit the little enter full screen mode, and this will show us this report in a full screen window. You'll notice a couple things. This is a key sales metrics tab. We've got gross profit percent, gross profit and sales, month to date, quarter to date, year to date. You notice the period up here on the right. So if we choose maybe period 9, it's going to recalculate on the fly because we've got dynamic calculations for those time-based type measures, all based on your fiscal calendar. So if you are running a 445 or 544, you want to run business day logic. So if you're comparing this month to date or quarter to date compared to the same month last year, based on your number of business days, it can calculate that as well. So here's an example where we're now looking at, and I can see if I'm red or green based on how I'm doing compared to my target. So this is a consolidated view. At the top level, let's say all sales rolled up. We can also click here on something like online. It's going to filter down to just online. So you can see online, everything is red. If we look at maybe retail, everything is green. If we look at other, we've kind of got a little bit of a mix there, right? So we've got, in this case, it's showing us that our month to date and quarter to date through period 9 are red. We're worse than our prior year values there. But year to date, we're still better than prior year. So maybe the beginning of the year was good. This current quarter, not so much. You can select multiple different slicers. So as we want to look at maybe Northeast, and I want to look at maybe just mobile, it'll filter down. So this is a nice, with all these slicers, to be able to get multiple views of the data very quickly and easily. We're going to kind of click through some of these different tabs here and show you a few other things that you can do. Here's an example of maybe a customer tab, so we can kind of analyze the type of customer categories. We've got a few of them here, things like maybe by channel, right? So now we can see a breakdown of our sales by channel. We've got by region. We've got some customers is down at the bottom. If we select one of these, you'll see I select retail. It's going to highlight the portion of retail in these other charts. If I want to see, okay, what makes up central, as I can see I'm worse than prior year in central. There's also another slicer up here. You can see year to date. We can also on the fly recalculate quarter to date and month to date. So we've built these dynamic calculations inside of our model that help support that. So if I'm looking at year to date, I want to drill down on central, I can right click and drill down, and now it's going to take me to the next layer. In this case, we've made that be the sales rep, and I can see that Robert O'Neill is better than prior year. However, Jason Lee is further behind. Let's drill down and just look at Jason Lee specific customers. So Best Buy seems to be the biggest challenge, as Target, Sears as well. So we can drill down, we can drill back up as an example there. So let's go to the next tab. And now if we look at maybe this is how we might analyze some of the product. So in this case, I want to drill down on, I can select TV videos. It kind of will highlight the charts there. Or we can actually just right click on this. And these scatter plots are kind of nice because you'll see we've got gross profit percent on one axis and sales on another. And so it kind of tells you, computing has a very high gross profit percent. However, it's, maybe further, back as far as the sales volume, whereas TV, pretty good on both. And so if I want to drill down to TVs, I can drill down. It's going to show, okay, these are the 3 next categories. So Blu-rays and DVD players might have a lower gross profit percent. Televisions are the highest. Maybe home theater systems are kind of there in the middle. So let's keep going. The next tab, we've just showing how you can still do a geography. So part of inside of the JD Edwards customer and address book related elements, so when you have an address field, maybe you've got state, country, zip code, latitude, longitude, whatever you're defining there. Those get mapped in our model as geographic type fields and elements, so whenever we drag those into the canvas, it acknowledges that, oh, these are probably some type of geography you want to visualize. So that's what is here. So we've got kind of by state. So we knew Jason Lee had some issues before. Let's go ahead and select Jason Lee. It might filter down. So these are maybe just Jason Lee's territory. I can see his states, right? So we can go ahead and select Jason Lee, or we can look at across the board. If I mouse over this, it might pop up with the tooltip of what are the sales amount, right? If we want to look at just home appliances, right, we can actually filter on home appliances, and now these sales are just going to be home appliances, and we can see these numbers on the other charts as well. The next tab is a trends tab. So this is looking at kind of a year-to-date trend. So we can kind of see this building throughout the year. You can also take one of these visuals. You'll notice a focus mode. So if you open a focus mode, it'll actually give you on a much bigger view of the data if you want to just focus on one chart temporarily. So we can drill back. We can also look at, instead of year-to-date, look at month-to-date, and you can see now on the month-to-date chart, it's no longer trending upwards. It's actually showing you each month, which is nice because then you can determine which values are month-to-month, which ones are better than prior year, which ones are worse, as an example. So let's go ahead to the next tab. In this case, we're having a lot of customers really like the waterfall charts, and these are great to analyze variances. And this is looking at our sales variance. In this case, it's year-to-date. If we flip it to month-to-date, it'll be looking at our month-to-date sales variance, or quarter-to-date. In this case, we'll look at year-to-date. So this is telling us, because we've got the highest level grouping here by sales rep, of all of our sales reps that match, again, consolidate. If I want to look at a specific region or sales rep or some type of product group, I could filter down and it would just recalculate this. But now we're looking at, if the sales reps have showing green here in this chart, that means that they've sold more than the prior year. So these are the sales reps that are doing better than last year's sales. The ones in red are the ones that are doing worse than last year's sales. So let's go ahead, and we're looking at Jason Lee before. Maybe look at David Williams this time. So let's right-click on David Williams and drill down. In this case, it's going to say, okay, these are the customers of David Williams that he's doing better than prior year. These are the customers that are doing worse. Let's drill down to Fry's. And now we can kind of see it's basically all within the mobile category of what his sales are. We drill into that, and now it's going to show us, okay, it's all in laptops as an example, okay? So you can also look at these, and we've got different groupings here. So if I want to expand this all to the next level, right, it'll actually show the blend. Now, instead of drilling into one sales rep, it'll actually blend the two levels together. So now it's each sales rep and customer, and you can kind of see the combination thereof, right? If we go back up, there's a middle one here, which is go to the next level in the hierarchy. So it's actually going to say, okay, what are the next level? Well, we're drilling down from the sales rep to the customer. In this case, we can look at all sales at the customer level. Or what was the next after that? Again, we can kind of drill down again, all sales at the product group level. So it's a nice, lots of flexibility with Power BI on how you can kind of get different views of the data. I'm going to go ahead and click over here. And this one, this is kind of looking at our year-to-date. I'll just pick 1 year, and I'm going to remove the period for a moment. So now if we go ahead and play this, we can actually see by sales rep how they're trending throughout the year. So this is kind of a nice visual to present kind of how each person is doing and comparing multiple people against each other. So here we can see, right, this was the path for Robert O'Neill. If I go ahead and hold control and select up here, this was the monthly trend for Matt Jones, right? So interesting, it's nice just to be able to see some representations this way. The next tab, we can actually show we actually have the ability to right-click on one of these. So with this drill down, let me go back to one of these other tabs for a moment. So if we were to look at even here, when we were drilling down, let's say, I'll drill down Jason Lee this time, or actually take Robert O'Neill, take someone that's doing better, not always focusing on the negative. So if you drill down, right, we can see Costco. Let's drill down into Costco. And now if I want to look at home appliances, I can drill through to these sales details, right? But before I do, you'll notice that we've got 289,000. That's the variance. We didn't add the tooltip, the actuals. But when we drill down to the sales details, it'll take us down to just the transactions that make up that specific amount. So this is anything that's there on the sales or orders history. So the 4211, 42119 can be presented there. And let's go back here to and the last tab, which again, we can still just do standard pivot tables, so you don't have to have everything in these Power BI reports be purely visual in nature. Here's an example. We can just do a standard pivot table. So if you'd like to kind of explore the next layer beyond just running through this as a consumer, our full-fledged free trial allows you to go ahead and open this type of report up in ad hoc mode, change visuals, change the hierarchies, change the measures, and so on. And someone will be reaching out to you shortly for that. Thanks again.